Now today, one of the doctors charged in the overdose death of Matthew Perry had his day in court. Melvin is downtown in Los Angeles with the latest. Mel?
Billy, Dr. Mark Chavez, one of 5 people charged in the death of Matthew Perry, has cut a deal with prosecutors pleading guilty to a single felony count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine, which could land him in prison for up to 10 years. Nearly a year after Matthew's shocking death,
Engine 23, rescue 23, EMS 9.
when he was found floating face down in the hot tub in his LA mansion, one of the 5 defendants in the Friends star's inner drug circle is in court today as the feds unravel a story of cash, code names, and ketamine.
These doctors can buy vials of ketamine for $12 and then they turn around and sell them for $2,000 a vial.
Dr. Mark Chavez is one of 2 doctors charged in connection with Matthew's death. Inside the courthouse, Chavez has accepted a plea deal and is said to be incredibly remorseful after allegedly being contacted by Dr. Salvador Plasencia.
Dr. Chavez was a colleague of Plasencia. They worked together and he was able to procure the ketamine.
Neama Rahmani is a former federal prosecutor. He is not involved in this case, but he does say that Chavez could help to bring down the hammer on the other defendants by working with the feds.
Having that insider testimony, someone that's willing to flip and testify at trial if necessary, does put a lot of pressure on the remaining co-defendants to plead guilty as well.
Oh, I thought, this is what happens when you die.
Matthew, in his own words, had been spooked after using ketamine.
Ketamine was not for me.
He bravely exposed his 3-decade battle with addiction in his book, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing.
Taking K is like being hit in the head with a giant happy shovel, but the hangover was rough and outweighed the shovel.
Chavez's court date, one of the first in a string of upcoming legal appearances by the remaining 4 in this case. Jasveen Sanya is the so-called ketamine queen. Feds say she used her apartment as a stash house to store, package, and distribute narcotics. Sanya has pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors claim Dr. Salvador Plasencia used encrypted messaging apps and coded language to discuss drug deals, referring to ketamine as Dr. Pepper, cans, and bots. Plasencia even allegedly texted this message: "I wonder how much this moron will pay." He has pleaded not guilty. Plasencia is accused of supplying drugs to Perry's live-in assistant, Kenneth Iwamasa, who delivered the fatal dose.
Perry allegedly told him, shoot me up with the big one. And then Iwamasa went out and did some errands, came back and found Perry, unfortunately, just dead in the hot tub.
Filmmaker Eric Fleming was the middleman in the scheme. He pleaded guilty to distributing ketamine and faces up to 25 years in prison.
He is a director and has Hollywood ties as a producer, but also was kind of the one delivering the drugs from the alleged ketamine queen to Perry's assistant.
And while the feds work to take down Matthew's enablers, Matthew himself may have the final word on his addiction.
There is a hell. Don't let anyone tell you different. I've been there, it exists, end of discussion.
Dr. Plasencia and Jasveen Sanya will go on trial together in March. Dr. Plasencia looking at 120 years behind bars, Jasveen looking at life in prison. Meantime, Matthew's assistant is looking at up to 15 years behind bars. Billy, back to you.